Boy, jonni.shreve, IFBB promos to tell like it is, guys. First of all, thank you guys for helping me reach 90,000. You guys have all made it possible. You made this prep absolutely amazing, and we still got time to go. So 7 weeks out until we're on stage. Can't not wait. So guys, thought I'd do a Q&A. It's been a long time since we've done one. I'll try and answer all of these. We'll keep uploading them in different, I'm not gonna do like an hour Q&A, but anyway. This is from X. How do you keep motivated now? And how did you motivate yourself when you started lifting/bodybuilding? Did you have days you just wanted to give up or quit? And how did you deal with that? Love your content, keep up the good work. Thank you so much, buddy, appreciate it. I've always, my entire life, wanted to be a professional athlete. When I was a little kid, I've always wanted to be a professional athlete. I'm from Windsor, Ontario. A lot of my surroundings, I have cousins, family members that are professional athletes, professional singers, and I've been around it. So I've always wanted to be one, and I saw the difference people can make being one, whether it was just financially being able to take care of their family, or just, I always liked having the ability to take care of my friends and my family, seeing people succeed and do that and be able to help other people. So I've always wanted to be a professional athlete, and that's what drove me to where I'm at right now. Bodybuilding, I would say lifting, the gym has been the only real consistent thing my entire life was the gym. And that's what would keep me going is training. When I wanted to, quit, when things got hard, I would literally go to the gym and sort my shit out. And then now, my daughter is my biggest motivation. I have so much more of a purpose now with her in my life. It's very clear and cut what I want to do and how I want to affect her life by affecting others. So how I am out here, I have to be an example for you guys because I have a daughter that I want to be a great example for. So that's my biggest motivation, guys. Appreciate it. Next question. How important is programming? Can you do whatever in terms of strength exercises as long as you're progressive overload and still gain muscle? Programming is important only in the case of you having a specific goal. So when it comes down to actually training, programming is important when it comes to specifics in sports. And when it comes to bodybuilding, programming is important too because if you have like lagging muscle group, your programming should be based around the lagging muscle areas to bring those parts up. If you're just looking to get fit and healthy, just moving is all you need to do. Resistance training 3 times a week, 30 minutes, and some walking a day. That's basically also required to be healthy. So programming is important if you have specifics in your actual goals. All right, next question by Alyssa Farbo. Sorry. What's the funniest memory you have with Coach Greg? Funniest memory? I'll have to ask him if I can say that one, but alright. Just like I can't. I'll leave that. I'll have to ask him if I can just say that. Next question. Next one from Jesse. What is your go-to hype song before a show or workout? So many. Before a show, I'm bringing out a lot of like old movie trailer songs, like Braveheart, the theme song of Braveheart. Trevor Rabbit, look him up. He does a lot of songs that I like in a lot of movies. Remember the Titans. Little John's What You Gonna Do is one huge one I've always loved my entire life. Put that one on. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, that one, sick song. Gets me up. Gets me right up. Anything Rage Against the Machines. I love Chaos. In my head, Chaos. And then Deadmau5. I have a lot of Deadmau5. Sophie's Ladder. Anyway, move on. There's way too many. Way too many. Julian Diaz. Having done bodybuilding for so long, is there a con or an inconvenience that first comes to mind with bodybuilding lifestyle that you wish you didn't have to deal with? Honestly, if you could do this drug-free, you know what I mean? You can. I could have easily chosen to be in a natural division and do it naturally, but for me, being how my head works, I always want to compete against the best. I always want to be in a place where I can measure myself up against other people that were really, really good. And the only way to do that really is to be able to kind of level the playing field here. So there is your use you have to do in a sense to be successful. And the time in the gym away from my daughter. I know it's necessary, but when it comes to bodybuilding, and bodybuilding doesn't pay bills, this pays bills. YouTube, everything does. Bodybuilding has given me the ability to do this, but every time I go to the gym sometimes now, like maybe for the second time or whatever, if I'm taking too much time or doing cardio, when she gets older, which I'm not gonna be doing this anymore, but that would be the time away from family, basically. And the next one's from Dan Yo. What up, Dan Yo? When is it efficient to do supersets or drop sets or burnouts? Get your basics first. Here's the thing when it comes to, those extra sets. Supersets, drop sets, rest, pause, any of those kind of force reps, all those are extra things to bring you to failure. If your body's not used to going to failure, on its own through just good tempo, don't even bother doing the other things. It's all flash in the pan if you can't really give yourself, get yourself to that ability with the straight rep, the straight set. Once you can do a straight set and you know that you've pushed yourself enough, add in those drop sets, supersets and stuff, but don't add those things until you actually are, number one, your technique and your form is good, and you know exactly what your limits are in the sense of like, you know how to push yourself. You shouldn't I don't use those things to push myself in the gym. I use those things to bring me to failure when my straight sets don't bring me to failure. Or at the end of my straight set bringing me to failure, I'll add in supersets, drop sets, rest pause, and those things. Ben R, any tips for overcoming body dysmorphia? Also, congrats on 90K, appreciate it, buddy. There's always gonna be like a level of body dysmorphia you can have. For myself, it used to be, when I first started, even when I was, playing football, you always have this like, I'm not big enough kind of thing. And that's very natural in a sense, but there's a limit to it. Just like everything's like almost on a spectrum where there's not like, there's good and bad, there's happy, sad, you wanna be in the middle and be able to kind of balance yourself back and forth. Body dysmorphia is a bad thing if you do all that thing, and that is taking away from your self-worth. If you can't look yourself in the mirror or see your accomplishments physically and say that, I'm good and happy with what I've done, then, your body dysmorphia is an issue. But if, every once in a while you start like me, I bang into things thinking that I'm smaller than I am, or I'll see somebody like, I remember living with Greg, when I'd see him, I would look at him as, man, that guy's really big. And not really like I'm like 50 pounds bigger than he is. I know that, but the thing is, the only way to really get over it, but managing body dysmorphia is to be okay with, not even just okay, be happy with those things that you have done physically. You know what I mean? You're in the gym, you're training, you're eating, you're doing everything you need to do, you're working hard. Give yourself the praise. That is good enough. If body dysmorphia is something that's gonna hold you back from being happy with who you are right now, then you gotta really, really work on being okay with yourself. If that's something that's there that kind of keeps you kind of motivated to work harder, then fine. Use those things in the right way. You can always use those things, any of those kind of like mental challenges as fuel to help you get better mentally with yourself. All right, next question. Ezra Val, I want my family to start having a healthy diet, mainly for my parents' benefits. But every time I address the situation with them, they're never totally on board with the idea. I know they don't want to count calories, stuff like that, but I don't think they necessarily need to. Could you give me some tips and advice on how to convince my family to make a conscious, organized effort to eat healthy? Congrats, well deserved. Thank you so much. That is hard, dude. My mom is 77, 78 this year. My dad's 83. I'll tell you more about my family later down the road, but I've been trying to get my family to eat properly for the longest time. All you can do is just be an example, be a positive example. I look at nutrition like religion, politics. You can't force it down people's throat. You can't. They have to come to a point where they want to do it themselves. And sometimes it just takes a good example in their life, a positive example of what it looks like to enjoy eating. If you're one of those people who are like complaining about eating or dieting or whatever, or you're mean about it, or I'm not saying you are, but if you're not presenting it to somebody in a way where they look at it as something they enjoy or want to change or can see the benefits from that, they're not gonna change. You can't change people. You can give them an idea, you can give them options, you can give them something that they can choose from. So, maybe once in a while, make dinner for them. Make a healthy dinner for them, and then be like, hey man, guess what? This is only, or whatever, right? This is a healthy food. Or maybe they're like, oh, what was that? You'd be like, well, you wouldn't even know that. This is actually really healthy for you. You guys eat this all the time, right? Make them the food that you think that, think they would like. Pry a little bit, your family, what they want to eat. Make something for them that's a healthy option, low calorie dense foods, and see what happens, right? Okay, Nigel SL. How important is macro timing besides having multiple servings per day of protein? It's not. Your body doesn't work on a timer at all. So guys, stop thinking about macro timing. Honestly, no one's really in the position, unless you're like a bodybuilder and you're low body fat, and you need to have some carbs before you train, or you're a marathon runner and you need some carbs, that kind of time makes sense. But if you're just trying to look good, be healthy, just get your food, get the amount of calories you need to get in for your goals, and stop worrying about macro timing, don't worry about that stuff. Your body doesn't run on a time clock. Like, all right, meal two's coming up, I add in 30 grams of carbs. Don't overcomplicate what your body can do very easily. It runs as optimal as it can. As long as you give it the optimal nutrients, it will do what it needs to do. So you don't have to tell your body it's got to eat a certain amount at a certain time of whatever nutrient it is. Hope that helps you out. From Gregory Mose, I think. Sorry, buddy. Would you say that the fitness industry is a good place right now? How do you see its future? Love the videos and your attitude. I think the fitness industry is an amazing place now because you can get all this information. Before, you had to literally figure it out on your own. And a lot of the time, if you think about it, that's where a lot of the the myths and ideologies came from, was from only a few people really having access to all this knowledge, and then only a few people really even getting it. Now you can go on here and see people like myself, Place Where Dates, Greg Doucette, Jeff Nippard, Jeff Cavill, even all these guys that we have videos with, that we either talk about or not. There's still good information that's out there. There's so much more now. More people are tuned in, and I can say so many of the people that are subscribed to my channel, and I see that everyone is a lot more in tune, smarter, more knowledge. They're more hungrier for the proper knowledge, doing things more optimally than before. Not really, before you wouldn't know. You have no clue at all. Now you can find out and sort through the shit. There's so much shit to sort through that it's hard, which is still a good thing. I'd rather have so much stuff to sort through than not anything at all. So I think right now the bodybuilding, the fitness industry itself is in a good place and is always going to evolve around everything. It's always going to evolve through, the code, through, social media. It's always going to elevate in some kind of way, because in the end, fitness industry is a business, and people are going to try and capitalize on the business. And if they can capitalize on their business, putting out the right information, there you have it. Thanks a lot. This is a fun question. All right, check it out. I'm on death row. This is what I'm gonna have the juiciest, I'm talking like the biggest T-bone steak, medium rare, just seasoned up just with salt and pepper, so I can just taste the and there's fat along the edge of it, right? The fat from a T-bone steak